Alright, so we're going to be putting the characters in two main categories. We have the ones that do pay taxes, and we also have the ones that don't pay taxes. We also have a third category, which is for people who commit tax fraud. Okay? Monica is the club president of the literature club from Doki Doki Literature Club. She was also the... that's not important. It says that, and well, when the game came out, Monica was 18 years old. So we can safely say that Monica does pay taxes. Ash Ketchum is a kid who is still 10 after years, and from the anime series adapted from the game Pokemon. He is still 10 years old after these years, which is surprising. But let's just say that he's just trans age and he got enough plastic surgery to make him look like that. Well, from all the battles he won, he probably has enough money to afford it. So, we can at least say that, well, he's been 10 years old since 1997, since he was 10 by that point, we could say that he was born in 1987, which means that he will be 33 years old, which means we can say that Ash Ketchum does pay taxes. The Grox is the main antagonist in the game Spore, and is known for the galaxy for being jacks. They steal spice, explode planets, and be general assholes, and also break the galactic code. So I'm pretty sure since they're being adults, they could probably pay taxes, but I'm pretty sure that they would commit tax fraud. Okay, Blue Zircon is a defense attorney from the Blue Diamond Court in Steven Universe. He has served over 4,000 years as a lawyer, which means that we can say that she's around 4,000 years old, which means that Blue Zircon does pay taxes. And I say, Dora Winfried Reed, most known as DW, is from the TV show Orpha, and is Orpha's annoying little sister. So, from the wiki, we can from the general list of Orpha characters, we could say that her age is 3 7/8 as the show began. And we know that the show by looking up, the show began in October 7, 1996. Which, if he was born today, will make her 27 years old, which means we could say that DW does pay taxes. The Child Forever Dragon, which is a dragon that looks very similar to the Nevergrow Dragon, is from a mobile game called Dragon City. The description of it is, as a baby, this dragon was struck by powerful lightning and forever frozen in time. Now she will never grow, and that's just how she likes it. So, she will probably never pay taxes. George Pig is from the TV show a lot of people hate called Peppa Pig, and he is Peppa Pig's younger brother. And he younger brother who won't shut up about dinosaurs. We could, around when the show starts, he was around 2 years old, and Peppa Pig started in 2004, which would make him the ripe age of 18 years, making him old enough to pay taxes. So he does pay taxes. Ming-ming Duckling is from a show that you might know for your childhood as Wonder Pets. And her with her friend Hamster and Todd help save animals that are in trouble with their small world problems. Ming-ming is 3 years old and the youngest out of all of them when the show began. So Wonder Pets started in 2006, meaning that Ming-ming is at the ripe old age, which means he'll have to be born in 2003, which means Ming-ming is 17 years old, which means that Ming-ming does not pay taxes. Villagers are from the game Minecraft. These villagers in particular, at least. they have an adult. They're normally as adults, but from their stupid and useless trades, we could say that they would commit tax fraud. Okay, here's Hunter. He's from a very, he's from a, he, from what he does is that he makes mine, is that he digs mines very fast so that he can break his pickaxe in half. And then the mine that he makes quickly collapses over him. And it's from the game Pocket Mine. So, since I couldn't find what the date of Pocket Mine's release was for Hunter, I decided to scroll down to the oldest review, which took forever. So, we have this, so I got this review, which was from October 15, 2002. Which, congratulations, Malcolm Crumb, you had a fast review. So, now I mean that if you, 2013, actually. So, if you were born in 2013, you are, well, since we know that I was born after March 20, it means that his age is 6 years old, which is a very young age to be digging mine shafts, but now we could say that Hunter does not pay taxes. Mimi is a character from a website called Momando.com. And on that website, you can actually see a character sheet, which says that he is in fact 1,016, which is like 100,016 years old. Which means we could safely say that Mimi does pay. Okay, it's pretty common sense at this point that Yoshi does commit tax fraud, so we're not even gonna go in. Straight on that. Okay, so this nameless monk is from Crypt of the Necrodancer, and by looking at his character, we could say that he is probably an adult. But so he would probably pay taxes. But the thing is that he dies instantly upon picking any gold because he has taken a vow of poverty and would immediately take his own life upon it, which means that he would need to commit tax fraud to live. Okay, so Snow White is in fact a Disney princess from Walt Disney's fast ever feature-length film production Snow White. And Snow White at that time was 14. Which would mean, since we know that Snow White is in 1937, which if we move it by 14, we get 1923. Which means that he would be we would know that, it would be like 96 to 97, which means that he does pay taxes.
Boy toy named Troy.
Okay, so Tom Nook is a Tanuki raccoon from the game Animal Crossing. So Tom Nook's age is 40, which means that he would pay taxes. But the thing is that, Tanukis are known for two things: their large and magic testicles and their super ability to change shape, their light and play tricks on humans. Tanukis are tricky, gluttonous, and greedy, but really malevolent. But we do know that even though he says that he's donating 99% of his barrel to an orphanage 3 towns over, he might actually be giving them dog shit. Highly emphasis on may, because this is a nature versus nurture debate, which means that we have to put Tom Nook in this gray area of may or may not pay taxes. Okay, so Bo Kid is this kid, which is a second player you can play as in Hat in Time, and while his age is young, and since we don't have anything on his age, we have to use Hat Kids, which is young enough to be considered a kid, which means we can safely say that he does not pay taxes.
Ocean Man.
Squidward Quincy Tentacles, normally known as Squidward Tentacles, is from SpongeBob SquarePants, and he keeps getting harassed by a literal sponge and a starfish. So, we can know that Squidward Tentacles' age is 43, which we can safely say that he does pay taxes. Okay, so Stormtroopers are from a very popular movie series called Star Wars. And they are part of the Empire, which logically they should be around 20 to 25 years old when they finish training, which means that Stormtroopers do pay taxes. They are minions, not monsters.
They're great.
Tony the Tiger is a tiger that loves sports, but his cereal brand has a lot more sugar. Like, it's full of sugar. So, Tony the Tiger is at 60 years old, which is a very athletic for a 60-year-old, but it does mean that he does pay taxes. Okay, so Phone Guy is from the Five Nights at Freddy's series, and since we don't know his exact age, we do know to be a security guard you need to be at least 18 years old, so we could say that he does pay taxes. Okay, if you don't know who Gloria Gladiola is, which is very easy, he is from a show called Gay First Pawn, which is a Christian show. So, as we know but since we never know her age or any of their ages, which is the bad news. But the good news is that all the characters included animals and insects that live on the pond are named after their voice actors, which means that we could take Gladiola and take her voice actor, which is Gloria Gaynor, which is the age of 78, which means we could say that Gloria Gladiola does pay taxes if she is the same age as her voice actor. So Jet Bean is from a movie called Killer Bean Forever, and he's dead. laa-laa is from the Nickelodeon show The Loud House and has way too many siblings, like a sick amount of siblings. When the show started, laa-laa was in fact 6 years old, which would mean, since we know that The Loud House was in 2016, that means if we have to be born in 2010, which means that she would have to be 10. Which means that she does not pay taxes. Okay, laa-laa is one of the Teletubbies from the show Teletubbies, which is a show we would rather not remember. So the first episode was released in March 31 of 1997, which means that they'll be 23 years old, which means that laa-laa does pay taxes. So the Grandmother Flea, normally known as just the Flea, is from a show called Mucha Lucha, which was the first show entirely animated in Flash. Rest in peace. Which his special ability is to publicly defecate on their enemies. So when the show started, he was 10 years old, which, since we know that the show is from 2002, which would, if we do the math, means that he would be 1992 years old. Well, 1992 in his birth year, he said 1992 years old, what am I saying? Which means that he would be 28, which means that the Flea does pay taxes. Donkey Kong Jr. was first debut game was from Donkey Kong Jr., which he saved his father from Mario. So, since the game released it in 1982, and since the time for a baby to walk is between 9 to 12 months, which means that he'll be at least a year old, which means that he would have to be born in 1981, which means that since we do know that he was born after March 20, which means that his age would be 38 years old, which means that Donkey Kong Jr. does pay taxes. So this piece of bread in particular is from the game I Am Bread, which is a game where you trash some poor guy named Bob's house in order to become toast. So since the game was arrived in April 9, 2015, which means that if he was born at that point, which means that would be, in fact, 4 years old, which means that the bread does not pay taxes. So Leopold Butterscotch is from South Park, which in that show he is normally used as a punching bag. So we do know that the age from what we can find was 10 years old, which means that since the show was August 13, 1997, which means that he would be 43 years old at this point. Which means that we could say that Leopold Butters does pay taxes.
We did it! We did it!
Okay, so we have a nice roster of who pays and who doesn't pay taxes. So if you excuse me, I'll be calling the police.